Most of us spend our days reaching for unopened boxes, things we think will make us complete. But sometimes the peace we chase has already been given. We just haven't learned how to notice it. Welcome to Sleepy Zen's story. This is your space to let go, to rest, to breathe, and to remember that peace doesn't live in what we hold. It lives in what we see, feel, and allow. As you settle in tonight, make yourself comfortable. Let your body find its quiet place, whether lying down or resting back in a chair. Let the air in your room soften around you, and notice the faint hum of stillness that comes when you decide to stop moving. Now take a slow, steady breath in and exhale gently. Again, inhale, deeper this time. Hold it and let it fall away. With each breath, imagine you're drawing calm into your body and releasing every small worry that's been sitting quietly in the corners of your mind. Your day is done. There's nothing left to fix or finish or prove. Right now, there is only stillness, only the simple rhythm of breathing, in and out. Let your shoulders drop a little more. Unclench your jaw. Soften your eyes. And if you're lying down, feel the weight of your body sinking just slightly deeper into where you rest. The story begins on a quiet night beside a river, the kind of night where the world seems to breathe slower. A single traveler walks down a narrow path lined with old stone walls. A faint wind moves between the trees, carrying with it the sound of insects, and somewhere far away the slow hum of a candle maker closing his shop for the evening.
The traveler carries a small, unopened gift, wrapped in worn paper, tied with a thread that's beginning to fray. He doesn't look at it much anymore. He's carried it for so long, it's almost forgotten what's inside, if anything at all. He came here because he'd heard stories of a village by the river where people still sleep with open windows, where the night air smells of jasmine and wood smoke, and no one hurries. He didn't know what he was looking for, only that somewhere along the road life had begun to feel like noise. Too many voices, too much trying. As he steps closer to the riverbank, the air cools. The moonlight spills across the water and ripples break it gently, as though the river itself is breathing. He stops, listens, and for the first time in a long while, he feels something close to quiet. You can imagine this traveler, his shoes dusted with the road, his mind still tangled in thoughts of everything he wants to become, everything he wants to fix. Maybe you know that feeling too, when the mind races even as the world around you slows down, when you're so used to carrying everything that even when you try to rest, your thoughts keep marching forward. So, as the traveler finds a spot beside the river, you too can find yours right here in this breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Hold it softly and exhale through your mouth.
Each breath is like the river, moving without effort, carrying everything that doesn't need to stay. The traveler sits down, resting his back against a tree. He unties his boots and lets his feet touch the cool earth. The unopened gift rests beside him. There's a strange comfort in just noticing something without needing to possess it, understand it, or change it. And maybe that's where the story begins. Not in what's inside the gift, but in the moment he finally allows himself to see it, to rest with it, to stop chasing what it might be. The night deepens. The river glows faintly under the moon. The traveler closes his eyes. He listens, and for the first time, he doesn't fill the silence with questions. Just breath, just stillness, just the quiet company of being here. As you lie here, listening to this story, let that same peace move through you. Every breath brings you closer to calm. Every exhale releases what you no longer need to carry. The day's thoughts, its noise, its small demands, they're drifting away like leaves on the surface of the river. You are safe. You are enough. You are here. He wonders, not for the first time, what's inside. He was told long ago that it was something meant for him, something that would bring peace when the time was right. But years had passed, and still he hadn't opened it. He laughs softly to himself. It feels foolish now, walking so far with a mystery he never dared to face. The wind brushes through the trees again. A few leaves drift across the ground. Somewhere nearby, a night bird calls once, then falls silent. And in that stillness, something inside him loosens. It's small, almost unnoticeable, but it's there, like the softest exhale after a long day. You can feel that same release now if you listen closely. Your body knows how to let go. You just have to stop holding. With your next breath, let your shoulders relax completely. Feel your spine grow heavier against the surface behind you. Notice the weight of your arms, the ease in your hands, the quiet inside your chest. There's nothing you need to do, no effort to make. This isn't a story to chase, it's one to drift through. The traveler looks out across the water. He sees reflections, moonlight, small ripples, a faint glow from the village lamps on the opposite bank. He wonders how long he's been running from himself. How many unopened moments have passed him by? He looks at the gift again. The paper has softened from travel. The string has left small creases across his palm. He doesn't open it. Not yet. For the first time, he simply looks at it. He realizes he's never really done that before. The traveler stays by the river through the night. He doesn't know it yet, but the village he came searching for, the peace he hoped to find, is already beginning to unfold inside him. The unopened gift rests quietly by his side. The moonlight wraps the world in silver stillness. And as he closes his eyes, the river hums softly, like a whisper that says, "Peace lies not in possessing, but in appreciating." The traveler woke before dawn. The air was still cool,
brushed with the scent of the river. For a long moment he didn't move, only watched the first light crawl across the water. There was something gentle about that hour between night and day, the time when the world holds its breath before everything begins again. He reached for the small gift beside him. The wrapping was damp from the dew. He held it in both hands, weighing it carefully, then tucked it into his satchel. The village waited ahead. A few narrow paths led between small houses with tiled roofs, their windows still dark. Smoke rose from one chimney, thin, quiet, almost transparent. He walked slowly, his boots pressing softly into the dirt road. Every sound felt amplified in the silence, the creak of a gate, the flutter of wings, the faraway splash of a fish breaking the river's surface. He didn't know exactly what he was searching for. He only knew he wanted to understand why peace always felt so distant, why contentment seemed like something other people found easily, while he carried it like a rumor he could never quite believe. The first person he met was a boatman. The man sat by the dock, repairing an old oar. His hands were rough, his face lined, but his eyes were alive, steady, kind. A single lantern hung beside him, casting a soft amber circle of light on the planks. "Morning," said the traveler quietly. The boatman nodded, still working. After a moment, he spoke. "Heading somewhere?" "I'm not sure," the traveler admitted. "I've come far, but I don't know what I'm searching for." The boatman smiled, not mockingly, but with the patience of someone who has heard that answer many times before. He gestured to the water. "That's the thing about rivers. They don't care where they're going. They just move." The traveler looked out across the surface, the current slow, deliberate, endless. The boatman continued. "When I was younger, I used to fight the current, wanted to cross faster, wanted calm water, wanted the wind to help. Now I just row steady. Sometimes I drift, and when the river changes, I change with it." He paused, testing the oar with his thumb. "Peace isn't when the river stops moving. It's when you stop fighting it." The traveler said nothing for a long time. He only watched the man's calm rhythm, scrape, sand, wipe, repeat. He thanked him and moved on. The boatman only nodded, eyes never leaving his work. Behind him, the river kept whispering its quiet truth. The traveler followed the path up a small slope. The sun was just beginning to climb, turning the mist gold. As he reached the top of the hill, the faint scent of melted wax reached his nose. Down the path, a candlemaker's workshop glowed faintly through its windows. The door was open. Inside, shelves were lined with candles of every shape, tall, thin, short, wide. Some were half-used, others freshly poured. The air was warm with the smell of beeswax and smoke. The candlemaker was an elderly woman, hands steady and eyes focused on the wick she was trimming. She didn't look up as he entered. "Be careful," she said softly. "Some of them are still cooling." He smiled. "You work early." "I work when it's quiet. The candles don't like noise. They need stillness to set, otherwise the wax breaks."
He watched as she poured a thin stream of golden wax into a mold, steady and unhurried. "How do you make them so smooth?" he asked. She looked at him for the first time, a faint smile behind her wrinkles. "You don't rush what's meant to shine slowly." The traveler felt something shift inside him. He thought about how often he'd tried to hurry things, understanding, success, even peace, always wanting to arrive without learning how to be there. The candlemaker continued. "People come here to buy candles for special moments, weddings, births, prayers, but most of them forget to watch the light when they burn. They think the candle's worth is in how long it lasts, but its beauty is only ever in the flame." The traveler nodded slowly. Her words settled somewhere deep in him, quiet, unassuming, true. He thanked her, bought a small candle wrapped in parchment, and placed it in his satchel beside the unopened gift. Then he stepped back into the morning light. By midday, the path led him into a small square. Children played near the fountain, their laughter echoing against stone walls. He sat nearby, resting his feet, watching them. One little boy approached him, curious, barefoot, holding a wooden toy that was missing a wheel. "What's that?" the boy asked, pointing to the traveler's bag. I smiled. "A gift." "Who's it for?" the boy asked. "I don't know," said the traveler. "Maybe me." The boy thought about this for a moment, then grinned. "My mother says every day is a gift. She says even bad days are still wrapped in paper. We just don't open them right." The traveler laughed softly. "Your mother's wise." The boy shrugged. "She says peace is like water. It's everywhere, but you have to stop splashing long enough to see your reflection." The unopened one suddenly didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt still. As evening fell, the traveler found a bench overlooking the river. The same river from the night before, but now its surface reflected the orange glow of the setting sun. He thought about the people he'd met, the boatman who stopped fighting the current, the candlemaker who poured light slowly, the child who saw peace in reflections. He realized each one had handed him something invisible, a piece of the puzzle he'd been carrying all along. He took out the unopened gift and held it gently in his lap. For the first time, he didn't feel anxious about what might be inside. He didn't feel the need to open it to know its worth. The wrapping paper fluttered slightly in the breeze. The thread tugged once, as if asking to be untied. But he didn't move. He just smiled, because maybe the gift was never meant to be opened, only understood. Maybe it was a reminder that peace isn't something to discover, but something to notice, to sit beside, to let rest quietly next to you like a small wrapped box at the edge of your bed. The traveler leaned back, eyes half closed, watching the slow fade of sunlight over the river. A candle flickered somewhere in the distance, maybe the one he'd bought from the woman earlier that morning. The flame shimmered, small and steady, before dissolving into the night. And with that, the traveler exhaled. For the first time in his life, it wasn't from exhaustion or regret, but from peace. He whispered softly to himself, "Some gifts aren't meant to be opened. They're meant to be lived. The traveler sits by the river as twilight drapes the village in soft shades of blue and gray. The air has cooled, carrying the faint scent of earth and water. He watches the ripples fade slowly across the surface, reflecting the first stars in the sky. He doesn't move. He doesn't need to. He simply breathes, letting each inhale draw in the calm of the evening, and each exhale release the day he has carried so long. You too can breathe like this. Inhale deeply, hold it softly, and exhale slowly. Notice how the weight of your body begins to melt into the surface beneath you. Your shoulders drop, your hands rest, your legs feel heavy and free. Every muscle, every small tension is carried away by the steady rhythm of breath. The traveler reaches for the unopened gift once more. It rests lightly in his lap. He doesn't open it. He doesn't need to, because he has learned what the river, the candle maker, and the child have all whispered to him without words. Peace isn't in possession. Peace is in noticing, in presence, in appreciation. Imagine the gift in your own life, whatever it may be. Perhaps it's a memory, a moment, a small kindness, or simply the breath you are taking right now. You don't need to grasp it. You only need to notice it. You only need to allow it to exist quietly beside you. The river continues its gentle song. The wind brushes across the traveler's face. Every sound, every gentle motion is a reminder. Life is moving, but you can move with it instead of against it.
Now, let your mind drift like the water. Imagine yourself sitting beside your own river, a quiet, safe place, untouched by hurry or expectation. The day's worries, the things left unfinished, the small anxieties, let them float downstream. Each breath carries one away. Breathe in calm, breathe out tension. Breathe in presence, breathe out restlessness. The traveler closes his eyes. He does not open the gift. He does not need to. The lesson has already unfolded. The gift was never about what was inside. It was about being here, about noticing, about simply letting peace exist without interference. And as he rests, the stars appear one by one in the deep sky. A soft wind rustles the leaves, a candle flickers in the distance, and the river hums its eternal lullaby. You, listening, are now part of this quiet moment. Your body is heavy, warm, safe. Your mind is softening, melting into the calm of the night. Feel the slow rise and fall of your chest. Feel your heartbeat, steady and true. Notice the space around your body, the stillness, the silence, the gentle rhythm of life itself. Everything you need is already here. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to open anything. You only need to rest, to breathe,
to be. As you sink deeper, imagine the unopened gift beside you, a quiet presence. It doesn't demand, it doesn't push, it simply exists. And in its simple existence, it teaches a profound truth. Peace is always within reach when you stop trying to hold it. The traveler drifts into sleep beside the river. The water murmurs softly, the candle flickers, the night hums. Everything is exactly as it should be, and so are you. Let your body relax fully. Let your mind drift without effort. There is nothing left to do tonight, nothing left to fix, nothing left to chase. Just breathe, just rest, just be. Some gifts are never meant to be opened. They are meant to be noticed, to sit beside quietly, to remind you that peace is already here. Good night from Sleepy Zen Story.